is Silachom. Silachom means God bless you. You see, so that's really something that now it's really something that we are like, okay, God bless you. So, so you can, I know that you have some more, I will not say radicalists, but I know some people who are like, okay, my child's name, I don't know, to name her welcome or blessing or something like that, you know. And they're going to be like, okay, in the language that I know of, how does it sound? If it sounds good, I take it, you know. I take it. So I really invite you to do that. I know that my cousin was mixed. He named his daughter Azani. And Azani basically was the first name of Africa.
Wow.
Or Abyssinia. Abyssinia means Africa as a whole.
Wow.
And because it's mixed, his wife also is mixed. She's African, but you know, and he was like, okay, all daughters are African, born in France. So Azani, Nandi, because he loved Shaka Zulu, and it was the name of his mother, Queen Nandi, Azani, and the last one because is Aya. You know.
Wow. That's beautiful.
So you know you can rename yourself doing that. You know, you just find and you're like, oh, and how does it sound? I think also that the name can call you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. That's what I'm just like soaking it in, you know, like somebody's asking to re-identify and then connecting it to the marriage. Oh my God, heavy. You know that when she married, she's going to be a new person. So that person she married, she's going to take his last name and she's going to add a new name.
Is that mandatory that she take his last name? Me, I'm
no,
going to.
I mean, hey, she can do what she want to do. I'm just saying what she said. Don't go and put me in trouble.
No way.
I'm just saying what she said. I'm not adding anything. No. That's amazing. Yeah, so definitely if you want to ask me any questions, because like Yoruba have their own different way, that's the one I can tell you about, you know, and why they choose it and who they choose it. And like she said, some things are just, you know, remember, like, okay, the name of my lecture is called Say My Name, Oluwafumi. And Oluwafumi means God made me, or God gave me. So the name of the thing, the name of the lecture in all English is Say My Name That God Gave Me. And that name that God gave me is a name that as African Americans, we do not know. And so what you're doing right now is trying to describe this name and find this name that you are supposed to have, but you do not know. And it's so heavy because this is real shit.
It is real. Like, we ain't no damn Johns and Michaels and Catherines. Like, we ain't that. And I feel like embodying that stuff gives more power to those names. Like, Michelle, when you were saying, like, you know, the woman, you know, they want to keep that same name for all the females in there. It made me think of like reincarnation, if you believe it or not. Some people believe that if you don't reach your highest authentic spiritual self, you're gonna have to keep getting reincarnated to learn lessons in karma. And then there are others who, like I mentioned there before with the Highlander, like when you know somebody, when you kill someone or if somebody dies in your family, they say like a piece of them goes inside of you. Like, this is like all this like spiritual stuff that I'll read about different things like in Indian religion and Chinese religion. And it's like one thing that makes sense to me is like reincarnation of back into family. And you know, if we're using the names that we were originally with, and if we have to come back, then I'm familiar and then I know who I am, and then I don't have to like go through this reincarnation. I don't have to go through the cycle of figuring it out and being some white man John's name and giving his name power and his family power. So when you said that they keep the name in the family, I found it interesting. Like, my middle name is Edith. I know that's been my great grandmother's name, and I'm like, even, you know, the Edith, I'm glad that I have my great grandmother's name, but like, you know what I'm saying? Edith might be the closest thing to blackness, but I know Michelle ain't. Michelle, my parents were gonna name me Shamika Michelle, and when I was younger, Yeah, I thought that shit was ghetto. Yeah, Winston over there laughing. I thought that was a little ghetto, but then I'm like, maybe it's just, the black people. We come up with these what we say are weird names, but maybe it's just like a way of us trying to dig deep into the deepness of it.
I'm
You know what I'm
waiting for
saying?
one of you African Americans to truly wield the spirituality of being African. That's what I'm
Mm,
waiting for.
mm.
And okay, like a funny story, because I'm watching Jessica with her dada, it is a Nigerian word for dreads. And I'm sure this happens in Cameroon as well. But let me explain it. When a child is born and they naturally have the kinky hair in Yoruba culture, right? Meaning they're born literally with dreads, okay? They are considered to be spiritually special.
Mm.
So they are now, they don't cut the hair of those children ever because they're like, touched by God.
I believe that.
So they're and the same thing with albinos.
I
you
believe
know,
it.
we so what I'm trying to say is that there are a whole bunch of people walking around with an extra amount of spirituality in them
And don't even know how to use
and don't
it.
even know how to use it. No, I think
Word.
Smalley, I think you're one of them.
I'm
And
learning.
I
I'm
know
learning.
but I think you're one
and
of
I
them
think you
for
need to
you to
embrace
even be
that
on this
because
level.
oftentimes, especially here, sometime in the US, it's going to be like, I understand that there is Christianity. I'm Christian and I respect that. But we have a culture, we have a custom. So you cannot say, when you say about hair, it's super funny because I have really kinky hair. And my father, when he was living, each time somebody wanted to cut my hair, he was crying.
Hmm.
He was crying. So the day he died, one of the things, because the tradition in the Bamileke tribe is that you have to shave the head of the wife and the descendant
Wow.
of the deceased. And my
Wow.
father was like, you do not touch the hair of my kid, especially me and my. So because we have, and so it's really something. And I remember even when my grandfather passed, my father was like, you do not touch Michelle hair.
Mm.
It was really something like, you have kinky hair. And my mother,
Extra.
she doesn't have kinky hair.
Mm.
Doesn't have kinky. She has
So
really.
now imagine what all this straightener and all this other
Right.
stuff is doing. And this is a source of spiritual energy for Black people. That's the point. It's a point of spiritual energy.
You
for
know,
Black
this
people.
is crazy that we're having this conversation. So I'm a loctician. I do locks. I'm actually, this is my,
Of course. She's a one of them. She's one of them.
I believe in the spiritual nature of locks and hair in general. I mean, that however people choose to wear it. But, for me, locks, like I was actually just discussing this with my cousin earlier. When I start someone's locks, it is a spiritual experience. It's a whole experience. We have a whole conversation of why they want to get started, what drew them to this energy, what type of energy are they wanting to feel supported in through their lock journey, so that I can help them with that.
Can we need to do a webinar together, and we'll do it on locks, and I'll talk about the spirituality of locks, and we'll talk about like even the Jewish don't cut the edge
The
of your
Orthodox Jews don't cut the edges. Hair is drastic.
Hair is big. Hair is big.
And
we're gonna promote like natural hair.
Yes.
I have too much mixed blood. My hair is not kinky. They got me real good on all sides of my family.
That's funny because me also, my grandmother was like light skin, ginger, red hair, green eye, and she's from Cameroon. So and I know that. So behind, I have a loose skirt. But the fact is that what is kind of interesting about what she was saying is that each time I cut my hair, or even when I have shedding, I throw that away in the toilet. I never it's rare that I put that in a trash. Why? Because you cannot know what everybody can do with hair.
Yep. That is Africa. That is it. You see, so now these stuff, it's even if you want to look at it and say it's this or that, it is still a source of spiritual energy. Black people have recognized that there's something there. and it's not just black people. I mean, the Jews, everybody. But what I'm trying to point out is that knowing that is a sense of empowerment.
Love
and
you.
a sense of knowing that is a sense of empowerment and a sense of how would you say, belonging, you know? So I mean, I used to have dreads when I was younger, and I cut them off and everything, being the the quote unquote professional. But then all in all, without the dreads is what started Afro-American culture. And Afro-American Culture Initiative started out with me growing dreads, coming to America, looking at Bob Marley and understanding the Bob Marley experience and learning about the Christian nature of Rastafari, tracing it back to Ethiopia. And this is me being an African that is American, that grew up in Nigeria and then came over to America and then learned about racism and learned that, oh, I'm actually black, and this might not be one of the best. This might not be one of the best things for me to be black. I didn't realize. I just thought I was black, but I didn't know I was black. I just thought I was just African. You know what I'm saying? But an African American actually told me. She goes, oh, like there was some kind of fight in my college, and they go, it was between Africans and African Americans, and so one of the African American girls go, oh, don't was it? He's not one of us. He's African. Oh no, he's not black. He's African. And I go, who you talking to? They talking about me. They talking about me, y'all. And I didn't realize it until then. And it started my journey of trying to bridge my African heritage. That's when I knew there was something different. But then I tried to bridge my African heritage with my this, and I grew dreads. I had a reggae band.
Did you? Oh, I need to hear your music now.
No. That's just,
now
we're gonna let that go. Slide on by. Just a little tidbit came out.
Nope. I'm gonna bring that up 6 months
No,
from
you're
now.
not gonna bring that. Damn. And then yeah. So then, but then it was me. I used to do an African night every Sunday. I went to Iowa State University, so there were no black people. So we did an African night every Sunday, and it still goes on to today. It still goes on. They do it every Sunday now, and that was in so that African night was the beginning of me doing Afro-American, to be honest, and that's when I started getting Afrocentric. So there is a story behind dreads, and then I cut my dreads because I was fighting for custody of my son. So I cut my dreads because I let my trifling baby mama.
The disrespect. Just say the
Let me tell you why.
She's like, no, she deserved that time.
Nah, she's trifling.
No, she's trifling. I'm telling you, she because of her, my son I had my son back into foster care because I dropped her. I dropped my son off with her, and then she ended up going to the club. So so what you can call it, what you want to call it. I call it trifling.
I call that trifling too, man.
So I don't, just because you can be trifling and I still have respect for you as a human being, but that action was trifling. So I had to go to court to go get custody of my son because they were like, why did you let her go? Why did you have custody of the son? Why are you letting the son go with her? And she, so they took my son away for 2 weeks. So when I went back to court to get it was all, so the judge wanted just to give me a wake up call, like, bro, we just gave you this young boy at 1 year old. So you need to, make better decisions. So I said, okay, you're right. So I, so when I did that, when I went back to court, I shaved my head to show the judge, like, yo, this is for my son. And I kept my lock. I had a lock that had five heads on it.
Wow.
It was like a hand, and it was in the back in the middle of my hand. It had like a hand like that, 5 fingers. And I kept it. I think it's in Nigeria.
Wow.
Nigeria somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I kept my first. This is my 3rd set of locks.
What?
Yeah, so my 3rd set. My first set, I went through a lot of trauma during that time. So they got really heavy, like spiritually heavy. So I cut them off, but I kept them for years. And then when I was finally ready to let go of the trauma, I burnt them. And then I had started my second set, which is actually in the picture that you chose, my sister locks, my micro locks.
This is your second set of locks.
This is my third set. This is my third. This is, so my micro locks. I wore for a long time, like about 4 or 5 years, and it got too long for me to self-maintain. I made a decision. I was like, okay, if I ain't gonna pay for somebody to maintain these things for me, then I'm gonna cut them off.
Imagine if you would have just kept them going. Like,
I know, it would have looked like a lion's mane by now. It would have been like, you know. But and then I started this set, though, was never getting cut. This is a never cut set because this is the set that I started when I recognized that my daughter, the pregnancy was going to stick. I've had, she's my third pregnancy. Yeah, she's my third pregnancy. And when I knew that I wasn't going to lose her, I was like, the locks are staying. Yes.
That's a real rainbow baby.
Yes, she is my rainbow baby. She is.
Amen. Amen. Wow.
Yeah, so this is my forever set. As long as she exists, they exist.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Wow. Wow.
Adventure. I think it's going to be super interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I even like this pandemic version a little better because we really get personal and we can, like, you know, we're just in here like in our own rooms by ourselves, just letting the energy. I even had another meeting. I just texted that, look, bro, it's not gonna happen. Like this, we in here now, you know, so.
Yeah, and in addition, the fact, because Colombia has a beautiful story, erased African Latina story, that it was. I didn't know there were so many African in Colombia.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
And other things. And when they talk about narcos, so it's really, and it's kind of interesting because it was something that I was like, I really love to go to Cartagena because it's cheap. And
I want to go to Brazil. I want to go to Bahia. That's where
Black people over there, they are cray-cray.
Okay. Yeah, I want to go. Because you know what? There's a big Yoruba. There's a big Yoruba.
When you go to
Yoruba
Bahia,
really influence that area.
Yeah, in the north. But if you go to Rio and things like that, you know,
I want to go I want to go to the historical Black slave, like Salvador.
You want to go to Quilombo? He wants to go to Quilombo.
I want to go to a Colombo. Exactly.
Yeah. So no, you have to go to the north in Bahia.
That's what I want. I'm not going to Rio. I'm going to Bahia.
Yeah, Bahia, Salvador and Salvador.
Salvador. That's where I want to go. And so when Afro-American makes his first million, that's where the first sabbatical. When it gets cold in Boston, January, I say bye-bye. I'm gone.
What's January? It's cold in Boston in October.
It's cold now.
But January, I do everything till Christmas now. You know, like all my events end in Christmas. And then from Christmas, when it get cold, then my idea is that January, February, March, let me just go and learn more things.
Yeah, she's just rolling around on my lap, honey. She's fine.
So,
that's one of the reasons why I left Boston, because the cold over there is not true.
Well, you're in Atlanta now.
Yeah, but like I said to you, I'm not sure. I'm waiting for.
You're waiting for
Wednesday.
For Tuesday.
What you're going to do?
She's waiting for Tuesday to decide whether she's staying in Nigeria in America or not.
Wednesday, because it's Tuesday evening. Wednesday, I wake up. I stay home for at least 1 week because all those white crackers are not going to let go. And if I see that he hijacked the election, I'm going to be like, and you know what is kind of interesting, God's in his thing, is that France is in lockdown. There's a new lockdown. Let's start tomorrow.
You can't even go back to France, huh?
No, they're authorized because I think that because I'm basically at some point I was so tired of this lockdown because to do you a summary, I was in Boston, I found a job in Dallas. Dallas was too much racism. So the thing is that at some point I was like, okay, where can I go in a state where they are a little bit more nice with immigrants and where there is Black people who succeed? So I was like, the other Black maker except George DC is Atlanta. So I drove to Atlanta. I met really interesting people or things like that. Pandemic hit. So at some point you're like, because I'm really spiritual, like, okay, God, what do you want to tell me? Is it that US is not the country I'm supposed to live in? Because France definitely we finish our story, you know.
Yeah.
I grew up in Paris. It's home, but racism exists also in France, you know.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was the end of the road at some point.
Yeah.
So I arrived in Atlanta, and at some point, you know, the pandemic hit, and at some point I was like, okay, I have no job, food is money is starting to go, and your crazy president was like, okay, all the immigrants, I stop your visa.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm leaving. So in July, I gave my notice and things like that. They closed all the border. I couldn't go back.
Oh,
They closed the border. So at some point, I was like, okay, God, maybe you didn't. I do not have finished my story here. You know. So it's still this kind of you are all in your journey of identity. And what I realize is that I'm also in my journey of identity, because the thing is that I have to build myself as Michelle and not as the person that my tribe and people wanted me to be. So, but I was like, even though I'm in this journey, the fact is that if this guy is reelected, it's going to be a nightmare for everybody who is minority. And I have that privilege that I have another passport. So I can.
Right.
Perks of dual citizenship.
I do not even have I just have one citizenship.
Oh, okay.
I'm just French. So because the Cameroon denied me the citizenship. When you get a new citizenship, they revoke your citizenship. So I do not have the
really.
Yeah. So those are no, but if you have the right amount of money.
Oh well, you know, money will buy you anything. I get it.
So when my father was alive, because he had a lot of connection, I had the dual citizenship. When he died, I lost it. What, because I didn't have anybody in the country to be like, okay, know who to pay for, you know. So
yeah.
So no, now
I became a Nigerian citizen in 2006 when I moved back to Nigeria. Before that, I was just American. So it's kind of, although I grew up in Nigeria. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria.
How's that work?
I had a visa. My mom, I mean, I was Nigerian because, well, my dad was Nigerian. I just never had a passport. I just always had an American passport.
But you know,
so I'm a dual citizen. I have two passports. I go to Nigeria and back without any.
No, it's good to have two passports. And I don't know what is I'm an immigration lawyer. I was an immigration lawyer. What is kind of interesting is that if your mother was born in Colombia and she had a passport, as long as she didn't lose it, you were eligible to have a Colombian passport.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's true.
Oh, you know what? So story behind that is that my mother did lose her passport, but when she came to the U.S., because they came when she was like 6, and my grandmother had all that information, and she kind of, I don't know, she buried it somewhere because since she passed, no one's been able to find any of their information.
Yeah, but you can still go to the. It's just a tip. You can still go to the embassy. Or if you know the city where your mother was born,
yeah,
you can still. She became an American citizen.
Yes.
So you have to know, because you have things. So you have some countries where when you become an American citizen or you become another citizenship, you lose citizenship. But you have country where you keep it. So if you can find a birth certificate, go to the Colombian embassy or consulate.
Yeah.
And maybe you're eligible, and it could be good for your daughter. You're eligible to a Colombian passport, and you do not even know that.
That's my tip. Thank you for. Well,
I very important tip.
That is a big tip. Thank you.
So you can have that, and it's good to have two passports, because I said
the best culture guide I could ever ask for.
You don't know what your daughter wants to be, or even you what you want to do, and maybe tomorrow you want to have contracts in Latin America, and it can help you, because when you need a visa, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do. So I have a business that I can, that I would love to move internationally, and that I would love to be able to maneuver more in international circles.
You muted yourself. She was so happy she muted herself. Oh, what happened? She was so happy she pressed a button. Asked to unmute.
We do not hear you.
I know. We can't hear you. And she's really in it now. Because what you said,
Yeah,
really. No, but look, I am so, I mean, you know, what you're doing is, you know, I work the other group that I'm supposed to go on. It's an African group. I have so many problems with them because they just do not want to do anything like break out into African, you know, African American understanding, like what you're talking about. And so anyway, I think that what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to be making I'm going to try to find funding for this this program, and hopefully we can do stuff together. And you're an immigration lawyer as well, so it's not even an issue.
I was, but if I can
you have enough to speak on it. You know what I'm saying?
That's for sure.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure that I mean, we're just talking about, like, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of African Americans that have the same question. That question that you answer is a big one. People that maybe they know one or two sections, but you know, they have disconnected from that part. You've just given her away a seed. You see how the other one was, remember, you see, the thing is that the African American ones, they may not have any.
Make her a panelist again.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. I have to make her a panelist. That's true. Promote to panelists.
Yeah, because my question is, like, how do you move to Africa? Like, I did a little bit of research, and I know Ghana, they was doing the return.
That's what I would say.
But it was like, I don't know if you got to live there for 6 or 7 years before you. I mean, citizenship is different. But how do you move?
Basically, you have this kind of, Ghana is really the prime example that they were like, okay, you're American, you want to go back, they give it. You just say that you want to go back over there. You do not, there's not a lot of things. It's not that you call ludicrous or something like, no, they gave it to you because it was really the year of return. And it's still going.
Yeah, they're actively trying to promote that. So the place that is already psychologically decided to accept African Americans, right, is the place that I'm Nigerian. Trust me, you don't want to start off Africa going to Nigeria.
That's what I was gonna ask too. Like, what if I don't want to go to Ghana?
It's too much trouble. You know, it's better I won't even feel safe. I'll be scared the whole time you're there. Like, oh, these Nigerians. Not that there's anything going to happen. It's just that Nigeria is so hungry. You need a place where people are relaxed. And also there's actually a historical reference, because Kwame Nkrumah, and see, that's what my class does. My class takes you to how to go to Ghana. So I have a class on there that teaches how to go to Ghana. And the thing about the flag of Ghana, right? This black star represents Marcus Garvey, and it's the only place that recognizes the African diaspora in its national ethos. You know, everybody else is like Liberia is colonized from America. Right. The rest of Africa Ethiopia will be another part, because they never colonized, but they just look at the African diaspora and who are these crazy people that are worshiping us. Right. You know, but they're not, but they too are separate. The rest of Africa just sees African Americans as these unfortunate tribe that we don't even really care here or there about, really. You know, they have that whole, Africans are this, African Americans are this, and then the other, right? Now, Ghana has that whole, like, their founding father. See, most Africans, including Fela, when you're in Africa, you look at white people as friendly because they're in Africa. I mean, they can't go around being as fucked up as they want to be because they're surrounded by 2 million Africans. Right. So they go to Africa and, hey, how you doing? And talk kind of nice, and it's kind of like, oh, you know. So a lot of the Africans in Africa don't really understand what racism is because they've just living in Africa. So that's very important. So just like me, when you get here and you start realizing that what the hell are you talking about? I'm thinking like a free king that I was raised to be, and somehow it's not working. Oh, it's not working because people are hating on me. They're hating on me because I'm Black. Oh, wow. And then you start going through that process. So Fela went through that process. And also, Fela talks about when he went to England and he went to school. Fela was sent to London to become a doctor, a medical doctor. He was part of the Nigerian elites. His mother is arguably the founding mother of Nigeria. And he left that lifestyle to live with the people. And it was because when he went to London, he now saw that they said, rooms for rent, no coloreds, no dogs.
Huh.
And when he saw that, he said, oh, these people don't really like us. Not really. Because you have to understand, we did not know about the slave trade. Not like they were telling us, oh yeah, we're going to take these Black people, we're going to take them halfway across, we're going to enslave them, put them in, and we're going to take away all their rights, and for 400, they didn't say all that. Nobody knew. Even some tribes in Ghana thought that these white people must be cannibals. What are they doing? Where are they taking these people? They must be eating them. So there's a whole lot of, there was no advertising that this was what was going on in the 1500s, right? So Kwame Nkrumah and a lot of were part of what they call the Pan-African Congress. And this was like the very first Africans that went back to America and saw the struggle of the civil rights movement and went back to to Africa, and all of them became like presidents of all these different countries. Ghana, it was like just these group of people. In Nigeria, we had a guy named Awolowo. He didn't become the president, but he was the first premier of the Western region. So these were like the first free Africans, very intelligent individuals. These people were like the Einsteins of Black people.
Right.
Remember, free thinking, highly educated Black people, and with no even idea of slavery.
Right.
No, we don't even understand what that is.
Right.
We have to learn it anew.
To know what that's like.
So when he got there, they got really influenced, and they came back with this Pan-Africanism. That Pan-Africanism is attributed with the eventual freedom of all the Black countries, all the independence of all the countries from colonialism. It was them that started it. So Kwame Nkrumah was the first president. He's the first.
What I will advise you is really first to, if you have, because I know maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I had this conversation with Justina. What I will
that's what I'm saying. I'm giving
first look at what country you can be.
Okay, let me hold. Go ahead, guys.
There are programs that I know because I was an attorney, so so there are programs that I know. But it's true, like Marlon said, even I'm from Cameroon, and I say to Justina, I know you, Michelle, you are Bamileke. I will not advise you to go to Cameroon. I will not advise you to settle. If you settle in Cameroon, you need to go with somebody who's Cameroonian, who grew up elsewhere, and you know that you're doing that kind of, I will say, togetherness. You're settling together, because Cameroon is super tricky. It's super corrupt. People over there, they do not care about you. They care about what they can take advantage of you. It's everywhere the same, but over there, it's like a mindset, and it can be really tricky. It's one of the reasons for why, even when I go to Cameroon, I stay with friends. I do not stay with my family.
Wow.
You see, especially since my father. I will recommend the country that I will recommend, and you also need. For me, when I give you an advice, I think that you're American.
Right.
where you grew up, what are your aspirations? Because also the fact that if you were, let's say, a businesswoman, a ruthless business, I would say to you, go to Cameroon. You do not get ruthless. You study. But
Take advantage, do all that right, but now.
yeah, but if you are an artist or something like that, I will say to you, go to Senegal, because even though it's a French-spoken country, it's really La Teranga. So you're welcome. And over there, they speak it's really something. And from an economical standpoint, it's also a country that is third world, but open to the outside. I would say Cote d'Ivoire, because Abidjan, and it's close to Ghana.
They're very calm, and they're very calm as the Francophone, like Ghanaians. Is the Nigerians? It's only Nigeria I don't go to.
And Cameroon, I say to her, I will not advise you to go to Congo, because unfortunately the Belgian and the French, because the soil is so rich,
they're fighting,
and it's divide and conquer in the warfare. Same for Angola.
Wow. Same for Liberia.
So what about Kenya, Nairobi?
Sorry?
What about Kenya?
Kenya is good. Kenya is good, but also, like I said to you, Nairobi, okay, so what do you want to do? And I'm not really familiar. I'm really talking to you about country that I visited.
Africa.
With.
Right.
From my understanding, Kenya is good, but in every country, you have to, I will say, to have your somebody over there, some kind of point of contact. But the country that I listed are really, for me, the country where if you want to have a visa or stay, it will be easy. If you want to do your business, whether it is really like business or just because you're an artist, you will be there. And the mindset over there is not like, even though the majority of the country in Senegal is Muslim, they do not care.
Right.
When you arrive over there, you arrive. And even if there is some kind of corruption or begging, the fact is that it's not as corrupt as Nigeria or Cameroon. Because, for example, when I was in Dakar, I remember I was walking. I'm not from Senegal. I'm not tall. I'm not dark skinned. I do not look like a gazelle. So, of course, and I was walking with a short. Not a Daisy Duke, but a short. So in
this is how I met her. This is how I met her. She just had the whole room. Everybody was listening to her. Go ahead.
So instead of let's say the taxi is 500 CFA, it's $1. It's less than $1. To take a taxi, they're going to see you. It's not from you. So they're going to double or triple the price. So for you, but you're Bamileke, so it's not going to work for you. So for you, you will be like, oh, that's still cheap. The Bamileke that I was in Dakar was like, I pay the same price. Yeah, but it's 500, I pay 500. And if you can lesser the price, I don't care. So it's really something like, but except for that, because they like to hustle, like everywhere, it's like when you're in New York and something is free. And I remember one time something was free and somebody was like, give me $1. It was free, but it was just $1. They try to hustle, but it's not as dangerous or things like that. So if you have a project and you know where I can tell you legally how you can do. But like Marlon, I will say to you that at this stage in 2020, I will say that for the moment, the safest, I would say 2 countries really in Africa, if you want to go back or to go over there, it will be Senegal. I will say Ghana because it's English spoken.
Yeah, that's Senegal, the only real reason, the difference.
Cote d'Ivoire will be the 3 countries. And Cote d'Ivoire have the election on, but Ivoirian people are something else.
There are just certain places that are just fine.
No, everywhere is fine, but the election.
Not everywhere. No, not everywhere.
It will be really the country where I will say that, okay, if you want land, if you want to do business, if you want to be open to the diaspora and to the world, those are countries that you can go. It's not dangerous. It's not that corrupted. It's also
right.
I wonder, Michelle. I wonder if that's what I'm saying, because I'm just the way what you're doing. If we can, because your country, Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire, they will be more interesting to the Haiti and people like that speak French. Like,
No,
how can we
because
try?
Senegal, you will be
No, I'm just trying. No, listen, I'm just trying to tell you. I know, I'm not saying that we're not going to do either one. That's fine. I'm just giving you the idea that that French Francophone connection is the barrier. Because, oh, if I go there, I can speak French. Oh, yeah, that sounds like good to me. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, there's going to be people that, oh, no, I don't care. Even I speak French, I want to be in Ghana. Oh, I speak English. I don't care. I want to be in Cote d'Ivoire. Of course. But I'm just saying that I wonder if we package this kind of idea to the French-speaking descendants of slaves, how will it go over? You understand?
Yeah, well, but I will say again, it's a mindset. People from Haiti, from my understanding, they are so proud of being from Haiti. They are so proud of their story that usually when they plan to go for, that's the first republic, even before us.
That is true. So that is one thing about Haiti. They're like an African country. Exactly. They've been around so damn long.
Not like, yeah, we know, no, because
they've been independent longer than all of us.
Exactly. So what?
Like, where are we going? We're not going anywhere.
And you know, one of the things also that the people often forget is that French is the language, I will say, national language. But in Senegal, you do not speak, how do you call that? Wolof. You're screwed. You're screwed. Like, I think that in some neighborhood in Nigeria, you do not speak Igbo, you do not speak Yoruba, you do not speak Hausa, you're screwed. Because you speak, we were talking about it.
Well, no, the only thing about, you have to learn Pidgin, but Pidgin is like, Pidgin is like how when I hear a Jamaican, I have to listen hard to understand what the person is saying. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but I know he's speaking English, kinda, but I know it's not, I can't understand. So you're very right about Haiti. Haiti is a different animal altogether. No, but there still could be people that want to, and out of those people, but I hear you. You're so right.
But I know I will say really for me is because when you go back to doing business or things like that, they are open. So they speak English, they speak French. They speak
it's true. It's true. So that's what I'm saying. Because this is about, I mean, and plus I know somebody, I really believe that Afro-American Culture Initiative, we will be doing that. I mean, I know it's like I'm sitting here now, but I believe that is something that in the end, people are just going to be like, I want to stay. And so why wouldn't we just want to collect information so that people can be readily know, hey, this is what you need to do. Like, you know what? Hold on. You know what? Let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can get this thing out. Okay. That's right. We're all it's not like we're going anywhere. It's not like we're going anywhere. We're right here.
I think my cat needs to be fed. I gotta go.
I want to show you the Ghana slides. Are you seeing my thing now?
No, we see your big head. Yeah.
Oh no, I don't want to see my big head. Let's hold on. Let me change that.
Well, we're not going to definitely, be my Marlon, big head. Me and Winston can be the first group.
Yeah, I mean, hey. It depends, because it's going to take your energy to keep me focused on it. I need somebody that actively really wants to go. If somebody really, and I have another couple that wants to go too. I can introduce you guys to them. Red Snapper and J Link. They're also supporters, but they haven't done their DNA. What am I doing now? I'm talking, I can't even think. Okay, if I can show you the thing is travel to Ghana. Okay, here. So these are one of the classes that my kids made this summer. And this is the beginning of what we're talking about, okay? So this is just the beginning. So imagine just keep on collecting more and more information. It talks about Ghana, where it is. It talks about what I was telling you guys about. He went to Lincoln University. He went to an HBCU. I forgot to tell you that. They actually do have a right to abode that allows people of African descent to gain permanent residency. As I've heard, the only person that's ever gotten it is Rita Marley, Bob Marley's thing, but I don't think it's a big deal. Okay, yeah. So this is what I want to tell you. That Black Star, because Marcus Garvey's shipping line was called the Black Star shipping line. So that's why that Black Star means a whole lot as far as their dedication, because they didn't even just choose anything. They chose his shipping line. A black man in the 20s had ships and was sailing up and down the coast of America, going to setting slaves free in Venezuela. And, I mean, a black man had a ship and he was Jamaican. Are you kidding me? A ship. And then they put him in jail and they exiled him to London because of mail fraud by J. Edgar Hoover, because they just were hating on a black man. So this goes into teach about how to get your passport. There's a video, so I can send this to you guys. I can share it with you guys. We don't have to go through all the whole thing, but it goes down to like things like what kind of languages, some of their Christian beliefs, how, kente cloth, talks, sports. This is that video we just watched. Cultural things like saying sorry all the time. Saying sorry in Africa does not mean taking responsibility. It means showing empathy. And that's a culture. So when people say, oh, don't say, I'll be like, well, sorry. It's just like saying, we feel you. Because if something bad happens to you, I'm going to say sorry. It doesn't mean I'm taking responsibility for where I did it. So the cultural things like that we talk about. And then we start going into this part, this is what's going to grow into how to buy a house and how to do all the other stuff. And it starts out with just your first trip. You have to have a step down transformer. Because they like when you go to Europe, you wear light clothing, things to bring, toiletries, malaria medicine, your passport, getting a visa, how much the visa costs, your inoculations, yellow fever, typhoid, meningitis, all the other things, your yellow fever card, currency, how to exchange, what kind of bills to take. Don't take $20 bills, take $100 bills, because if you change if you, or use, now they have, credit cards where you can, swipe your card. Loads of things. Don't wear too much tight clothing in spandex, because they're just, all that stuff is like seen as negativity and this and that. And, the Black people are traditionally very dignified. We always have to be dignified and in our spirit of goodness and wholesomeness, So even if we're overdoing it, that's just what they believe. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's, some of it is old. Don't shake people with the left hand. The left hand is for wiping your ass. The right hand is for, for shaking hands and stuff. Loads of stuff, but just information that will help you when you're going there, be in the right context. It's not a rules thing, but just you be in the right context. So then we have our affirmation. I will immerse myself in my culture. We have a discussion, homework, little quiz, and then some references to the video. So that's the 10 class. We have about 9 before this. So you guys, that's what you'll be getting, Jessica. That's you'll be getting, and all of you, I'll let you guys have the links. You'll have access to all of this.
So Marlon, can you tell me a little bit more about what the next steps are for me?
The next step is really, I just need to come. We need to get the send me your address and we set up a time. Come over. You're gonna take the test. You're gonna swab yourself. We're gonna sign a little paperwork. And then I'm gonna send it off to the mail, and then we're gonna wait. It's supposed to be 8 to 10 weeks. Right? It's supposed to be 8 to 10 weeks, but because of the pandemic and all the mail and all this other stuff, they're trying to say like 12 weeks. So let us see, but we'll send it, and then when I get the results back, I'll now schedule a time, and we'll try it, and then we'll have another, then we'll have the culture reveal, and we'll be also trying to raise money for you to like a GoFundMe. Yeah, to go after the pandemic, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but you know what? You know, that's what I'm saying. If this thing gets better, like, and I think this year we're really going to get some nice funding. We get some real nice funding, then hopefully I'll, you know, because I want to film it. I want to film all of us going to Ghana, you know, and like, let's use it as a documentary and let everybody see the actual thing, get it really nice edited and everything. And, you know, and like form the next level of this. This is just level one, going for the first visit. So then the next one has to be definitely, okay, now I'm going there to stay a little longer, you know, and maybe if we go there and see the Afro-Americans, the African-Americans that are there, they'll tell us, and normally, you normally come back in about, you're normally able to move back really about after the third visit. Okay, so that means that we have to have a middle visit, and then what do you do in the middle visit? And then there's a third visit when you're moving back for real, for real. And then what, you know, so this is a journey, you know, that I'm so passionate about, and it is my reality because I grew up in Nigeria. And my mother is African American from Danville, Virginia. We're talking about sweet tea and cornbread, right? You know, and I always knew that there was a connection that nobody was working towards making. And when I saw these DNA tests, it really brought it home. So I can talk forever. Let me shut up.
And you will discover that I remember I had a Colombian classmate, and at one point she ate something, and she shared with me, and in Boston, and it looked like an African dish that we, and I was like, okay, because I know, so there are things that are so interesting when you see how things travel during the Middle Passage.
Yeah.
Oh, but we have the same dish. Yeah, that's something that we do quickly. It was with corn, not cornbread. And she was like, yeah, that's something like literally the food of the poor. And I was like, no, that's not the same in Cameroon. We do not eat it like that, you know. But anyway, I'm going to leave you because
no problem. Yeah, let's you know,
let's shut it down.
No. I mean, look at us. It's been 2.5 hours. And the only reason why it's even ending is because all of us held it down to our last energy. If there were more people, they would have been giving more energy. We've been here like another 30 minutes for every extra person. Because everybody would have had it, you know. But yeah, so I mean, just send me, that's all you got to do is just send me an email. I will, and then we'll meet up. You take the test. Let's send it off as soon as possible before the COVID is everywhere. And
it's already everywhere. In the US, it never left.
Well, okay, you know, I will get it to you. I'll give you my address. I am leaving for a trip on Tuesday.
Oh no, I'm seeing you before this weekend is out.
Okay, good.
Oh, you
get it out the way, and
yes, I'm going away. So like the world has, though COVID is scary, the world is not completely shut down. Jessica, we like there are.
I know, but you better be careful because in the next 2 or 3 weeks, some places are going to shut down. I don't know where.
Oh, so basically, you're going the day of the election. Good.
Oh yeah.
Good choice.
Nice.
I'm going to the day of the election.
Well, thanks, girls, for a great evening. And I just want to I am so blessed that you guys are just, blessed by you guys. So thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace.
All right, guys. Bye, Michelle. Bye, Michelle. How do you